Hey guys, Danny here today to talk to you about a book that I'm starting to think the universe doesn't want me talking about because this is like my 40 millionth attempt at this video and I keep getting interrupted. But before we get started, notice behind me furniture's back up, things are on the wall. I want you to look at this. Look at this. I did that. Isn't that beautiful? Huh? Yeah. The floors are finished. And I want to give a big thank you to my father-in-law. Thank you, Dad. This wood is 1930s oak. It came original with the house. We had carpet down, tore up the carpet, and discovered that there was a section where there had been a wall, and the previous owners had removed the wall. And where there was no hardwood, they had just laid down plywood and stained it to match. And we had been trying to get wood to replace it. We didn't want to cover it. It's 1930s oak. We didn't want to cover it. My father-in-law managed to get us some, and it's obviously not an easy thing to do. So thank you, Dad. Love the floor. It looks wonderful. Now, back to the book. This book, David Gemmell's book, Quest for Lost Heroes, is a book that I had not listened to or read prior to this. And if I had listened to it or read it prior to this, I don't think I would have gone with this book. I would have gone with a different David Gemmell book. It's not a bad book. I don't want to give the impression David Gemmell's a great author. I don't think he's ever done a bad book. But this was my least favorite of his books. A couple of reasons. It's darker. It doesn't have that epic, grand feel that his books tend to have. There are scenes in the book that should be epic and should be grand, and they come across as understated and kind of flat. The book is, the main character in the book is not actually the focus of the book. The focus of the book is the lost heroes that he surrounds himself with to go on this quest. So, at least for me, I never felt drawn into his life. I never felt like I really cared about him or empathized with him or anything like that. There were two of the lost heroes that I did really care about and kind of get drawn into and empathize with. And they both die by the halfway point in the book. And both their deaths seem and feel meaningless. In fact, by the end of the book, all of the lost heroes but one have died. And all of their deaths just, there's really only one of them that dies to save everybody. And so their deaths have kind of a flat, letdown kind of a feel to them. Then their deaths come into play and become an important part of the book. But even that is short. It feels minimized. And then the other reason that this is probably the biggest reason why this is my least favorite book, this and how much darker it was, because it was a good bit darker. It didn't have all the battles that he tends to put in there. It almost had more of a spiritual battle kind of a feel to it. The battles were more on the spiritual plane kind of a thing. I didn't like the ending. There's no clear-cut victory at the end of the book. The ending was a definite letdown to this book. It's compared, so if you read the publisher summary makes it sound a lot like the First Chronicles of Drust the Legend, right? A young man has the love of his life stolen and he goes out to search for her. It's nothing at all like the First Chronicles of Drust the Legend. So, if you're looking for a story like this, and you're trying to decide between the First Chronicles of Drust the Legend or the Quest for Lost Heroes, go with the First Chronicles of Drust the Legend. You can listen to this book. Like I said, it's not a bad book. It's just my least favorite of his books. Any questions, comments, or feedback, please send them in my direction. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Once you've subscribed, you can hit notifications and you'll get notified whenever I put in a new video. I do 2 a week. One will be, some kind of a nonfiction, health, fitness, self-help, leadership, something along those lines, spirituality, something like that. The other will be something that I've listened to just for the sheer fun of listening to it. But here is the most important thing to make sure that you do today. Make sure, if you accomplish nothing else today, that today you listen to at least one really